Welcome to a historic video. On 8th of July 2023, we witnessed something truly spectacular taking place in Croatia at the Grand Chess Tour. We had Magnus Carlsen playing on day 4 of the Super United Rapid and Blitz. It was the first day of the Blitz, and Magnus scored 9 out of 9. You can see the picture up there. That was his reaction after scoring 9 out of 9. Let me take you through a few pictures so that you get an idea. This was the standing on the left. You can see the rapid standings after the 3 days of rapid play. And then Magnus simply burst into a 3-point lead with 20 out of 20. And in a field where you have Caruana, Nepo, Alireza, Rapport, Anand, Gukesh, Duda, Sharic and Lupulescu, to score 9 out of 9 is not at all easy. And Magnus did that. He scored all wins, and I think even he realized what an amazing feat he had achieved. So the day started off with this beautiful setting, in Zagreb, Croatia. A lot of people had come in to watch the day. So after all, Blitz is a lot of fun. And Magnus said that he was rushing to the tournament. So he has this routine where he goes to eat before the game. And he went to eat, and when he came back, his key was not working. And when he went to the reception, there was a big queue. So he couldn't change his clothes. So he had to come in shorts. And there was also this thing where in his hair there was a little flower. So a lot of people thought he had gone for some little party and then he came directly, but that was not the case. The flower had just stuck in his head from somewhere. So this was his first win against Caruana. Then he beat, it's a nice one because with Duda he was almost lost and managed to convert it with Gukesh. A very nice win actually. Then against Nepo, also a very interesting one. He beat Firuja. Firuja was in good form actually. He played really well, but he managed to beat him. A crazy game with Richard Rapport, which we are now used to between these two players with long hair. And then his final reaction after scoring 9 out of 9. Very happy. In fact, the last I saw this reaction from him was after winning World Blitz Championship. He was very, very happy and he did this, this is the kind of reaction. And also, here we see him in the interview where he was in his element. He signed a lot of autographs and chess boards for his fans. So let's go to the chessboard and see how things panned out. Let's first begin. And what I want to do is I'm not going to show you each and every game in this. What I will do is I'll take you to a critical moment in the game and ask you what you would do. And you can see if you also, like Magnus, can score 9 out of 9. Okay. First, let's begin with this position. Magnus is black against Caruana. The last move was Queen D4. What should black play here? Very important moment in the game. Try to think, try to calm down. What do you do? So the right move here is the very nice one, Queen E2. This puts your opponent in a zugzwang because the king has only one square to move and it cannot go there because of a check in the position. And if you move your queen away like this, now what happens is that this pawn is no longer protected. And so check, king h2, very important because you can't go here. Again, you lose this endgame. So you have to go to h2, then I go check and I win this. So this is a very important moment and I hope you found queen e2, which was a very little move. By the way, just a few moves ago, this position was reached. And here Magnus could have done exactly that. He could have gone check, king g1, and now king h5. Same concept. If queen d4, there is queen e2, and there is queen e8, king g4. But you know what he did was, in the game he went queen check, and actually Caruana defended brilliantly. First, he found this very important move here, queen d4. Now the only difference is that we reach the same position but with black to move. So it's a black cannot win this. If it was white to move here, then that is the game position. So this happened, and Caruana defended it brilliantly actually for many moves until he blundered. And I think what I've realized seeing Magnus is, when it comes to queen endgames, he's really the boss out there. I don't think even he can explain how he's so good at queen endgames. He just understands chess so well, and yeah, by the way, this is the moment, and then he won. So the real mistake by Fabiano occurred somewhere here when he played the move king g1. I think this was not a good move. He should have played maybe king f3 or king f1, when he would have, it's still a draw. Okay, so that was first game. I hope you liked it and you were able to get that move. Let's go to the next one. This is with Duda. I tried to find a good position as a question here, but it was not so simple. But I finally came to this moment because I think it's a very instructive moment. Magnus is playing with the white pieces here. What do you do here as white? White to play. The move that I liked a lot here, and which you should definitely make it your weapon in the Catalan, is this little move b3. And Magnus played it. The main point here is that after take, your C file opens up and also the A file opens up, and it gives a lot of compensation. In fact, you might have thought of the move knight e5, but after a typical idea here for black is knight d5, closing this diagonal, and black is doing okay. Yeah. By the way, the game with Duda was absolutely crazy. In fact, Duda at some point after c5 with black was better if he had found the move queen b5, threatening queen f1. It could become very sharp, but he blundered here with queen c6, and Magnus simply chopped off this pawn, which was very important, and attacked the rook. And Duda resigned a few moves later. Okay, let's go to the third game now. This one is between Gukesh and Magnus, and this is an important game. I think Gukesh was holding on to the position pretty well, and we join it around here. Magnus is black, so the position is around equal. If you make a move like king d1, you are fine, but Gukesh played the move b5. Why is this a mistake? Try to think, what should black do? Black to play. So first, as black, you want to take the pawn, and now you want to calculate accurately as Magnus did. Check. Trade the rooks. King here. King comes up. Take the pawn. And you are in time. And this position might feel like a draw, but it isn't, because of the next move, which is g6. And white is lost because wherever you go, let's say you go king e4, I gain space. And if you go king d5, then I already can break with f6 or f5 and win the game. So this was a very smooth win, but you needed to calculate basically taking and this move rook c2 check to go into the pawn endgame. So Magnus won against Gukesh there. An important win for him, because that was, I mean, he is someone who is rising now in the world of chess, and beating him right now sets a good sort of personal score against Gukesh. This one was against Ivan Šarić. Very sharp game, very nice game. I will try to put up the position somewhere here. White to play. What did Magnus do? So if you look at it, the position is around even, but Magnus finds a very neat little tactic. He goes take. And I really like this move. Okay, there are other possibilities as well. One very nice idea is bishop c2. The bishop cannot be taken because the bishop on e7 would hang and then there would be a fork, and you want to relocate it to d3. So it's a positional solution here. Bishop c2. But knight e5 is the tactical idea. It's not winning, but d6. And here Ivan went wrong by taking this, and Magnus was clearly better. The right way to play here now, because white has such good pieces, is to play rook d8. And then the game could have continued d takes. Please note that if knight takes e7, there is rook e7, d e7, and take this when black is better. So take, take. Oh, sorry, I was going for this line. D takes, takes, knight takes, king f8. Take here, king e7, rook c1, and now you're queening. You can't block it because of rook d8. And so you play queen b6, queens, take, take, knight e4. And the position remains complicated after rook c2. It is not clear. And this is what Ivan should have done. But the game became very, very complex later. And in fact, in this position, Magnus could have finished his opponent off. He played a great series of moves to reach here. And just rook c1 would have been very strong. If the bishop moves, there's rook c7. But instead, he went on with rook d6. And we reached a position here where Ivan Šarić actually got a winning position. Black to play. Ivan went back. But what is the winning move here? Yes, knight e3. Game over, actually. There's no way to stop queen g2 mate. There is one way, which is queen a8. But then you find queen c1. This is to bring knight here and here. So if you play rook e8, I have check, king g1, check, king here. And now comes the move queen d2. The king doesn't have space. If you go back, queen e1 and queen h1 is a mate, so you have to come up, and now queen e2 checkmate. So Magnus was a bit lucky here, but okay, I mean, in last few seconds, it's very difficult to find these moves. Next up, we go to round number 5. This time, Magnus is playing against the great Vishy Anand. And Magnus is playing with black pieces. Anand, the position is equal around here, but Anand now takes this pawn. What do you do here as black to play? The first move that comes to mind is rook b1 check, but it doesn't work because of rook c1. White is in the game. Magnus finds this brilliant move, which is bishop d4. And this is very classy move because if you take here, it's basically deflection. Rook b1 is game over. And if you don't take, I am threatening to take your rook. And if you save your rook, which Vishy did in the game, he went here, trying to prevent a mate. The problem is after take, his pawn is lost here. And next, this pawn is being lost. And this is just one step away from, like 2-3 steps away from queening. So very important win here. And if you spotted this tactic with bishop d4, good job. Good job there. Okay, let's go to the next game, the 6th round game. This is between Nepo. Very complicated game, in fact. Again, I struggled a bit to find a good position here because the game was so complicated. But I really liked how Magnus built his position. Maybe I can take it through the opening very quickly. He again played the Catalan. You know, one of the things which you must realize is that Magnus prepared the Catalan against Nepo for World Championship. And this opening has held him in good stead even in many events afterwards. That is because he might have not been able to play many of his prepared lines, or many of the lines he was preparing and would have discarded for a World Championship, but not for Rapid and Blitz. There he can always try these dubious, slightly dubious lines. Like here, if it was a classical game, I'm sure Nepo would have calculated this and played. But here he went for this line. And now I really like how Magnus played. He first took this pawn, then cemented his knight, then went bishop f4, give up this pawn, knight c2. Very strong move, because now if rook b2, there is rook a5 hanging. So he went queen b8. And again, here is my question: what would you play as white? So Magnus here went for this very active move d5. I think it's an interesting move, because if you take, you go e5, knight e4, bishop e4 takes, and knight d4. And white was doing well in the game. Magnus went on to win. But I think d5 may not be the best, because there are many ways black can play. One of them is bishop c5, good move. Also, knight b3 is a decent try. The best move here, and a very nice one, is rook a2. And the main idea is that now you can't take here. We know that this is hanging. Secondly, knight b3 no longer hits the rook. So your plan now is to reroute the bishop from d2 to c3. It's a very positional move here. So let's say rook d8. You go bishop d2, attacking the knight. The knight jumps in. You put the bishop here. And now you are perfectly placed for all sorts of moves like d5 later, which can come in. And I think it's a very good position. And this entire maneuver with rook a2, bd2 and bishop c3 is a great positional idea. I also liked how Magnus actually closed the door on Jan. Here he was winning, but Jan played the move e5, and Magnus first cut the king off here. If you come king g4, the g pawn is running, so he played rook here, and now king g3. There is no way to stop rook f6 mate. Okay, so that was round number 6. 6 wins for Magnus. Let's go to round number 7. This time he's facing Alireza Firouzja. And again, Magnus in his interview after the tournament said that this is something that he just heard from Aryan Tari, who mentioned to him that there is this possibility of playing queen a5 in this position. And actually, I'm just looking at the live book. There are only 5 games with this move. So it's nothing played at GM level as well. c3, and now Magnus plays this move e5. Alireza got a bit active and here did not play this position so well. And this is a moment where Magnus took to try to find a good move for black now. This is a nice one which Magnus missed. Yes, the moment is bishop b4. It's actually not, maybe Magnus saw it and did not like knight f3, bishop c3 and king e2 when the position gets very sharp. But I think white is okay. Black is okay here. Okay, bishop e6, went back, knight d7, knight g5. And now Alireza played bishop c4, attacking this pawn. Here's your main question. What do you do here as black? Magnus finds this very classy move. He doesn't even care about this pawn. He just goes bishop d6, attacking here. And after g3, he could have taken on g3, but he long castles. And then his position is just so good, so good. And you will realize that in the end, when we exchanged a lot of pieces here, we see the black domination in full light. Pieces are just so much more developed. White is undeveloped. And that led to a completely lost position. And Magnus played very well here. Pawn up. And he launched a mating attack here. And won the game in the end game. With 2 pawns up. So Alireza was his big rival in this event because he was playing well. Also, Alireza is the current world number 1 in blitz. So that was a sweet victory for Magnus there. Let's go to the next game here. This one is with Richard Rapport. So here, Magnus has to play king f1. He's playing with white. And the bishop is kind of trapped, but black is able to somehow survive with rook e1, king h2, queen f1, queen g2, and now queen e2. Yeah, somehow this is holdable. Black is a piece down, but has this pin here working for him. So this is a draw, or maybe an equal position. But instead, Magnus played this bad move, bishop e3, and all of a sudden, Rapport finds bishop g3, and Magnus is in big trouble. And his streak is going to be broken because he's now worse. He cannot take here because take, rook e3 is just lost. So he went king f1, queen c4, king g2, bishop e5. He chopped this pawn, rook a8, brought his rook in. Here he's fighting still. And now a blunder by Rapport. He played bishop takes c3. And it's your move. What would you play here as white? White to play. Rapport's idea is that if you take back here, I will take this, and it's equal. But this move is what I think he missed. Rook e7. There is no way in which you can now save your bishop and also this pawn. Like if you go back with your rook, then the bishop is no longer hanging and I can take this. So here he found the only sort of defense. By the way, if you play f5, that's already too weakening, and I can already take rook a7 and find this, I think, little move queen e3, attacking the rook and also threatening a check and game over. So Rapport played d4 to defend this, but now Magnus finds another nice move, queen b7, attacking the rook and also this bishop. So he had to give up an exchange, but the game was not over. Richard Rapport is such a dangerous player. Here there is white to play. What would you do? Actually, Magnus faltered here and he took this bishop. What is the better move? Yes, the winning move here is queen d7. This is very powerful and would have won the game. Check, king here. Check. And then you save everything. But queen d7 was a key idea here. He took, and Rapport was back in the game. And this is a drawn endgame. But we know that Magnus is a brilliant player with queens on the board. Queen endgames are his forte, and he managed to convert this and win it. Okay, final position. This one was against Lupulescu. This one was, I think, a very interesting one. I really liked the build up to this endgame where Magnus firstly in this position plays rook e2, not fearing knight going back and giving a discovered attack on the queen because he had prepared this move. Now you can't take the rook because queen is hanging, and he took the queen, and now he's better in this endgame. And we reach this position where it's slightly difficult to make progress as black because this rook is keeping an eye on this pawn. If you move this rook, this falls. This rook here on g1 is defending this pawn. But what was it that Magnus did to finally break through? Yes, he played the move f3. Very strong move. You can't take with the pawn because it's a mate. So you have to play rook takes. But now after takes, rook b2 and a2 and rook b1, it's winning. So with this, Magnus Carlsen scored 9 out of 9 on day 1, and he has done something truly special in the world of chess, and everyone's going to look at day 2 to see what he will achieve. It's the final day, and will Magnus continue his domination in the tournament? He is 3 points ahead. Most likely he'll win it, but can he score 9 points today as well? We'll see. And just on a final note, a question to all of you to see if you have come to the end of this video. If you have, then do let me know. Who does this tattoo belong to? Let me know in the comment section. And I would know that you are a true fan of ChessBase India and that you have watched this entire video. Also, let me know your score out of all the positions that I asked you in 9 games. Were you able to find Magnus's moves? Until then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.